All right, so by the looks of my clock in front of me, it is 12 noon Central Standard Time. So we will get started. Again, this will be recorded, and for all of our registered participants, we will be emailing you the recording and the slide deck within the next couple of days, so you can have that on hand as a resource. So again, thank you and welcome. My name is Kate Cinemo, and I'm the Executive Director of Explore the Trades. And on behalf of our team, I'd like to thank you for attending our webinar today. This is the first one that we've done, and really our goal today is to educate the educators. So we want to ensure that the information we're providing you today is of value not only to yourself, but also the students and the parents whom you work with on a daily basis. As we work through each topic in each slide, I invite you to make notes of your questions, and we'll be sure to answer those at the end of the presentation. So you'll be able to share that question in the chat feature of our webinar. As we designed our agenda today, all of the information we'll cover is based upon questions and conversations we've had with your peers from across the country. And we believe that today's webinar will provide you with information that can be shared with students and their families and help guide them to a successful career following high school. After sharing a bit more about our organization, we will discuss the industry at large, apprenticeships, key roles within the industry, and then we will move on to the soft skills associated with plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. And we'll also talk about some high school classes that could be beneficial in these roles. And before we begin today, I would like to thank our sponsor, Bradford White. The role of the industry vendor and manufacturers are key to the work that we do at Explore the Trades. And like the technicians, our communities could not operate without the products and equipment that keep us safe and healthy. The trades and industry vendors work in tandem to ensure that quality products are being installed and serviced in homes, commercial, and industrial settings around the country. Bradford White Corporation is headquartered in Ambler, Pennsylvania, and is an American-owned full-line manufacturer of residential, commercial, and industrial products for water heating, space heating, combination heating, and storage applications. The corporation's manufacturing facilities are in Middleville and Niles, Michigan, and Rochester, New Hampshire, with a distribution center in Halton Hills, Canada. In each of these facilities, Bradford White focuses on hiring highly skilled engineers, craftspeople, and technicians to design and produce high quality, innovative products for professional specification and installation. So once again, we would like to thank Bradford White for sponsoring our webinar today. All right, so about Explore the Trades. Explore the Trades is a nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technical talent gap to the service trades of plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. So what does that mean? So that means our organization, simply said, is really focusing on bringing up the next generation of technical talent. We want to create and distribute information that brings awareness to the skilled labor shortage. We want to ensure that our relationships with service contractors, educators, counselors like yourselves, and industry vendors, that we are fulfilling an information gap that has been removed from society for almost an entire generation. And we are excited to be a part of creating the next generation in the trades. Like I said earlier, our goal for today is to share information that will serve you and your students, and to really take the mystery out of these trades and to showcase the importance of these in our community. All of the content that we will go through today can be found on our website. So on the screen, you will see just a snapshot of the homepage of our website, our web address, and then all of the social media channels that we are on with the handle Explore the Trades. Okay, so when you're looking at the skilled trades, the question might be, well, why? Which is a great question. So let's take a closer look at the factors that have shaped the skilled labor shortage today and how we can move forward. So as we look at a high level from the industry at large and into the future, the Bureau of Labor Statistics is forecasting substantial growth in these trades, as indicated in the blue box that you see on the right hand of the screen. There are several factors that impact these numbers, and really let's focus on, okay, so where did everybody go? Why do we have such a shortage? Well, the first thing is the retirement of baby boomers. The average age of a technician in plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical is almost 50 years old. So when we have this quote unquote silver tsunami of tradespeople leaving, as 3 leave, we only have 1 new person taking their place. Another example includes an information gap, which we just talked about, which really uncovers the fact that many don't know that these are careers. Some people don't know what tradespeople do or how to get into the industry. Simply stated, everybody knows how to apply to college, but not everybody knows how to enter the trades. Another thing is really the stereotypes that surround these tradespeople. For example, the trades have always been described as a fallback career or a plan B, for those people who weren't quote unquote smart enough for college. And also, let's not forget about how people are typecast on TV. If you would have a plumber on a TV show, they're often described as being sloppy, late, things of that nature. So it really has become an image problem for the industry, and everyone in the industry will absolutely acknowledge that. And as we'll figure out, these are far from the truth. And finally, while the percentage of women in the trades only measures 3% by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the number is growing. Contractors around the country who employ female technicians report that they are some of the most requested employees by their customer base. Women bring in attention to detail, physicality, so sometimes women are able to fit in some of those smaller nooks and crannies, and obviously have more nimble fingers. And I know that sounds funny, but if you're an electrician working on a panel, women tend to have smaller fingers, which has great dexterity for the work. So all in all, women are perfect for these roles. All right, and now let's go to another reason. Another powerful reason to consider the trades is the cost of education. And all of you on this call know much better. You're having those conversations every day. But in September of 2021, the Federal Reserve estimated the amount of student loans carried by Americans is at a staggering $1.73 trillion. And I don't know about you, but it's really hard for me to fathom that amount. While many students find their fit in a traditional college setting, which is perfect for someone, for some people, but not everyone. We know that 4-year college isn't always the best fit. So for many, they'll oftentimes start without even finishing their degree. The skilled trades provide a solid and feasible career option for many. And as you can see on the graphic on your screen, the price difference between a 4-year public and a 2-year trade school is amazing. And obviously, as we'll talk about, those who are new to the trades will begin an apprenticeship. And within that apprenticeship, you're paid to learn the craft. So rather than starting out one's career in debt, the trades allow individuals to begin their earning potential right away. Along with service call flexibility and managing their own service truck, let's take a closer look at some of the reasons why technicians love their work. So the first thing is feeling accomplished, absolutely. And serving in that sort of quote superhero capacity, who can diagnose and problem solve issues related to plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical in homes in their community. The second thing, keeping the community safe and healthy. Remember, the biggest advancement in public health was the invention of plumbing systems that were founded in ancient Greek and Roman societies. On a side note, if you ever have the time, I would suggest to do a Google search on some of the historical facts about plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. And you will learn a ton about how these 3 trades have not only shaped the United States, but also how they have shaped civilization around the world. Number 3, job stability. We've seen countless headlines over the past 2 years regarding the shortage of skilled labor. Once people are fully skilled and licensed, tradespeople will always have a skill set that will be in demand. Number 4, earning potential and career growth. As we'll talk about in the next slide, the wages and leadership opportunities for the trades is really hard to beat. And finally, many technicians enjoy their jobs because they're helping the environment through water and energy conservation technology that save the homeowner money and are easily accessed on our smart devices. And I would bet that almost all of us on the call today are able to raise and lower the temperature at home while we're at work on our phones. So it's pretty cool. All right, let me get to the next slide. So one of the things that we just talked about is the earning potential and options for growth. On the screen, you will see one of our most widely used graphics as it illustrates a typical growth path for a technician. In this case, we're looking at what it's like to be a plumber. And on our website, we also have versions for heating and cooling and electricians. And just at a glance, people are able to see how wages grow and how those leadership opportunities exist after becoming a licensed technician or those who are entering the trades. Now, what I will say is sort of a caveat, the more we talk about technicians and apprenticeship hours, things like that. So you'll hear me say that some wages vary by location, training may vary by location. And it's simply a reminder that within the United States, we do not have a universal licensing set of requirements. So to become a licensed plumber in Minnesota could be different than Ohio, could be different than Texas, could be different than New York. So as you're talking with your students, please ensure that you are looking at licensing requirements within your area. These licensing requirements may be set by the city you're in, by the county, by the state. So just keep in mind that there is no universal licensing standard within the United States. Given the demand for skilled professionals and the many technological advances that are impacting these trades, tradespeople are in demand for their services all across North America. And while each company may operate a little bit differently, it's quite common that as a technician, you might work from 7 in the morning until 5 at night. Obviously, this will vary by the company that you work for. But within those work hours, that would equate to roughly 3 to 4 service calls, depending on what is going on at each of those. So, and then we remember everything is different. So technically those technicians will have about 3 to 4 calls. So before we can even get to managing service calls, we need to start with an apprenticeship, and that will take us into our next slide. For many, the term apprenticeship isn't well known, but for those of you who love history, you'll know that apprenticeships have been around since the Middle Ages. It's a time-tested training system that has certainly worked well, as apprenticeships are key for many technical industries. Again, this is something that plays to the favor of plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical, where people are earning a wage while learning a craft. Please note that training and education requirements will vary by location, but on average, apprenticeships will last 4 years and include 8,000 hours of highly regulated training and education. This includes both hands-on and classroom learning, which is a great example to say that we can take away the myth that tradespeople aren't intelligent. The starting wage for a first-year apprentice will be between $12 and $19, which will increase after each year that they successfully finish that year of their apprenticeship. So after years 1, 2, 3, 4, they will expect a wage increase. Another common question that we often have is, well, how do I find one? Well, unlike college, there is no one way to find an apprenticeship. On the screen, there are several avenues by which one can locate an apprenticeship program. On our website, we also have links to these programs that are available by state to help identify programs near you. And you can see the link on the slide as well. Please keep in mind that in order to begin as a registered apprentice, one must be 18 years old and have a high school diploma or GED. On a side note, if you have a student who is interested in the trades, a great alternative to an apprenticeship is applying for a part-time job in the summer as a parts runner or a warehouse helper with a local contractor. This gives them the advantage to watch how the company is run and then also learn from the technicians who are running service calls. So as we look at the examples on the screen, obviously number 1, contact a local service company to see if they offer an apprenticeship. Some apprenticeships can be offered at local community colleges or trade schools. We also have links to industry apprenticeship programs on our website. So some of these industry associations are called the PHCC, ACCA, which is ACCA, and the IEC, which is for independent electrical contractors. So it sounds a little bit like alphabet soup with all these acronyms, but those are also possibilities. Also, you can also search your state's Department of Labor and Industry, as all of the states in the country do have official apprenticeship programs. Number 5 is apprenticeship.gov. So these are federally approved apprenticeships. And there are differences, I will say. An apprenticeship could be state approved or federally approved or both. So that's something that you'll want to figure out when researching those programs. Or if there are unions close by, they will also offer these programs. Okay, so far throughout the webinar, we've talked about tradespeople as technicians. We've been calling them technicians. While there are many other roles in these trades, technicians are the people who are running the service calls in homes each day. These are the people who are licensed and work directly with the homeowners to diagnose and solve the issues present. After successfully completing an apprenticeship, individuals may become a licensed journeyman technician and are authorized to work service calls without supervision. Beyond that, many technicians decide to become a master technician, and again, after additional training and an exam, they would assume more responsibility. A master tradesperson often supervises technicians and will do more of the administrative work, like work with suppliers and manage the scope of a project. If you did the math based on our wage scale earlier, you can determine that the average starting salary for a journeyman technician is around $45,000 and a master technician around $65,000. After working in some of these roles as a licensed technician, many choose to take on leadership roles in different capacities. On this slide, you'll see different managerial roles along with the average salary of each. Again, this is a great visual to showcase that the trades offer a number of possibilities and people aren't, quote, stuck as a plumber, heating, cooling technician, or an electrician. An installation manager is a common role within a trades business, and this is the person responsible for managing and coordinating the installation of larger projects, such as a new HVAC system. Service managers manage the training and service calls of the technicians, manage all customer service inquiries, and are responsible for department metrics. An operations manager is responsible for managing policies within the business, managing the budget, and working with suppliers, among a number of other items that keeps everyone in the business moving on the same direction. While not listed on this particular graphic, we can't forget that becoming an owner of a trades business is very popular within this industry. Many owners begin as an apprentice and work their way up. In fact, working in a trades business is a great way for entrepreneurs to begin their dream of small business ownership. All right, so again, are you made for the trades? All right, let's think about this. As we think about the role of a technician in a residential setting, it's important to remember that there are a number of traits that can help create success in these roles. On the slide, you will see the top 10 traits for a technician. Some are soft skills that are crucial to working with homeowners. And obviously some are physical in terms of where you might be working every day. Keep in mind that while someone you may know may not be a perfect fit mechanically when starting, that can always be remedied. In fact, many companies will hire people who are a great culture fit and have the right personality. The slogan, hire for character, train for skill, is often used in this industry. The handout that you see on the screen, we also have available on our website, and I've also included the link below. So again, you'll have all this information when we send out the slide deck in a couple days. So these are often good questions to talk about if you have a student who is thinking about the trades. You know, you really want to be sure that they enjoy that independence. So you're working in the service truck every day, going out to different calls. And also, you know, number 6, enjoys working outdoors, because as a heating and cooling technician, it could be 10 below zero and you have to work outside, or you know, it could be 100 degrees with 90% humidity and you're working outdoors. So a lot of these factors are important, you know, for someone to really become successful in this industry. All right, so we've talked about personality. let's talk about the types of classes that would be helpful to get a student ready to pursue this industry. On the screen, we have listed some of the most beneficial classes, and I will say I am immediately jealous if your school offers all of those electives. I would say you are so fortunate to have all of those hands-on classes at your school. Many of the common classes that we have on the screen are math and science, and I know what some of you may be thinking. I know that my student would be great in the trades, but they're just not into math right now. Don't worry. Even if someone is not enjoying their math class right now, they will always learn the necessary math for the trade in their apprenticeship. They will always have the opportunity to learn. And don't forget about public speaking and physical education. The communication skills are a must-have for working with customers, and regardless of the project, it's important for technicians to be physically able to work in nooks and crannies of all sizes. All right, and speaking of math and science, let's not forget that the trades are STEM careers. They're not just dirty jobs. On our resource page, you'll find a series of videos that highlight in detail how each trade fits into the STEM category of careers. For example, science is relevant to all things heating and cooling, as technicians are working with refrigerants with air conditioning units every day. With technology, you can think about the electricians who are outfitting homes with solar panels and chargers for electric vehicles. And when you think of engineering and math, think of those plumbers who are calculating water pressure and measuring angles when fitting pipes. So along with the videos, we also have a series of blogs that go along with that are also on the blog portion of our website. Okay, so how can we help? Great question. I'm glad you asked. As we mentioned throughout this call, Explore the Trades is committed to equipping you as influencers with the information that will help your students be successful. On the screen, you'll see that we have 3 items listed. Number 1, free poster kits. Let me say that again. They're free. We have sent over 845 kits to 788 schools in the US and Canada, and we are ready to send more. On the link below, under our Parents and Educators section of the website, this is your opportunity to request it. So if we think back to the plumbing graphic that we saw a few slides ago, that's a poster. We have a poster for heating, cooling, and electrical, as well as a larger poster with different infographics that can call out some of this detail. So again, it's free. We've seen pictures of people posting them in their schools, which is awesome. So as long as we can start the conversation and be a resource to you, then we have done our jobs. Number 2, videos and free downloads. These are also located on the resource page of our website. Most of the videos range in length between 2 to 5 minutes and can easily be shareable with your students and colleagues. And finally, if you go to our homepage at the bottom, you will see a quiz that says, what trade is right for me? I would highly encourage you to take it yourself. I would encourage you to send the link to your students because it's a great way to get the conversation started. It's about 25 questions and you would either answer yes or no. So it's a great way for them to start to shape in their mind what these tradespeople do every day. So it's really quick and it's a great conversation starter. All right, so admittedly, I have talked a lot and I'm hoping that you have found all of these pieces of information helpful. So I would invite you, if you have any questions that you would like to call out in the chat box, we are more than happy to answer those. We have lots of time. In fact, I know that I booked an hour for our call, but I'm not sure that will take that much time. So if you think of something, for sure, put it in the chat box. And I know it's hard to be called out on the spot. So if you don't think of something, I would encourage you to send us a note when you think of it. One thing I will say, and we've had this question before related to young women who are interested in working in the trades. And a lot of what they talk about, you know, maybe they're of smaller stature and they say, well, I'd love to be a plumber, but I don't know that I'm strong enough. which is a great question. And from what I will say, in working with so many contractors around the country, they are most, concerned about employee safety. So oftentimes, let's just say, even if it's two men on the job and they're doing either some heavy lifting with a water heater, maybe they're installing a new heating and cooling system. It's always a two-man job for employee safety, for efficiency. So if a young lady that you're talking to is worried about that, I think it's a fair question, but always know that the employers will work with the employees to ensure that everyone is safe on the job. Oh, so we do have a couple questions. All right, so the first question I see, do you have any specific names in the Twin Cities of businesses who are looking for apprenticeships? So I will say off the top of my head, and this would also be some research to do locally if you wanted to do a Google search, but there is Bonfils, which is located in St. Paul. They have always done a remarkable job of talking to people who are new, who are interested in the trades, and they would be a great one to contact, whether they are looking for apprentices, whether they are looking for part-time help, but Bonfils is always a solid one to connect with. The second question I see is, can you talk about transportation requirements, driver's license and reliable transportation required? That's a great question. So when you are looking at an apprenticeship, I would say 99% of the time, the company or the program would prefer that that person be able to get to the program. A lot of the companies will have protocol in place for those technicians to have a clean driving record. Oftentimes contractors will implement drug testing as well. Again, it's a little bit different as to the frequency, which all of these contractors will do, but do know that a driver's license is required, especially if you're in the truck and getting to and from the apprenticeship program. If that's what you're talking about, Amy, you do need to have that reliable transportation as well. Okay, so I see a question from Miss Martha. So how would I get a speaker on the trades to speak to my group of girls? The girls are Black and I would love to. That is a great question. Looking for a Black woman in the trades to speak to them. Martha, I will refer you to, there's an organization called Tools and Tiaras, and she is based out of New York. Her name is Judeline Cassidy, and she has an amazing story of being a Black woman in the trades. She's a union plumber in New York, and I would encourage you to reach out to that organization. Judeline and her organization are very active on LinkedIn, and I had the opportunity to meet Judeline, a couple of years ago, and she's fantastic and loves talking about all things trades related. So I would offer that as a suggestion. Okay, I see another question that came through. Just wondering if mildly cognitively impaired students who receive a certificate of completion instead of a diploma are potentially able to be accepted into any of these trade skills programs. That is a great question, and candidly, I don't know what those requirements would be. I think that would be a question for the specific program that you are looking at. I don't want to say either way. That's a great question, Shanna, and I'm going to be honest and say I don't know, because I think other programs have different standards. If you would like to email me separately, I am happy to help. So we'll have our contact information here on the screen pretty soon, and I will absolutely help you figure that out. So just know that. Let's see. Oh, Amy was able to connect with Martha in the Q&A. So that's awesome. All right, thank you. All right, let's see. Do we have any other? Oh, Amy, I love it, Amy. Thank you for including all of that information. That's perfect. And that's a great resource for us to keep track of as well. So, all right. You all have had great questions today. Thank you. For sure. All right, I think what I'm going, like I said, I don't know that we need all of our time today. You know, this is the first one, so I'm excited that we've had some participation today. So this is really exciting. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off my camera so I can see everyone in the top corner of your screen. And yeah, so just, you know, as you are all are thinking of questions, would love to hear from you. And these have been great questions for us to think about as well. So I'm just going to move on to our slide right here. So again, my name is Kate. I'm the Executive Director of Explore the Trades. My team member on the other side of the camera, her name's Maddie, and she's our admin coordinator. So on behalf of the two of us, just wanted to say thank you. And our contact information is on the screen. So if you think of something later, you want to send us a note, you want to give us a call, please do that. And we would love to answer any questions and to help you, look for programs that are perfect for your students. The other thing I wanted to share is you may have seen the note in your registration that you will all be getting your own toolkit. So it will be comprised of the information that we've talked about today that you can then pass on to your colleagues, share with your students. So we look forward to sending that to you. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to check the chat one more time. Perfect. There is another great resource. Wonderful. All right, so again, you all can expect your toolbox in the mail in about 2 to 3 weeks as we compile those. We will be sending the recording along with the slide deck as well. So you can expect that. Again, on behalf of Maddie and myself, I just wanted to thank all of you for being a part of the call today. And as we close out the call today, there will be a short 5-question survey that will pop up. So we'd love to get your feedback. We want to know what would bring value. What else would you like to know? What your colleagues would like to know as your students get ready for the trades. And I think we have some really good ideas to get us started. So thank you for that. Also, we will be at the ASCA conference in July. I think our booth number is 916. So we look forward to seeing you there. And again, my name's Kate on behalf of Maddie. Thank you so much.